allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Here. Emily, you can go first.
Along with the Katy Iroquois Regional Planning Commission, and we have made a public hearing tonight. So there's a client sheet going around, even if you are not specifically for that, you're in attendance, please sign in. So we're doing a public hearing to discuss the town's application for a stormwater improvement project. So if you are familiar with the town, we are working on the unroad ditch, which runs along Scott Street, correct? And we are right now, if you've ever been by it, the culverts are very small and undersized. So as water is trying to flow through there, unfortunately, it really doesn't. So we have a lot of backups in the system, and it's not moving through the system as efficiently as it possibly as it really should. So we are doing this project in partnership with the county. So the town is not, they are the applicant, but they are not committing any funds to this project because it is a county-owned ditch. So the county is actually the financial partner in this. So they are working, we're working with their surveyor, Brad Ward, and they are helping out by basically working together as a team to get this improvement done. So we are working with the Indiana Community and Rural Affairs. We are applying for a $750,000 grant, and the county is putting in $279,000 as match. So with this project, it's going to increase the size of those culverts in order to get the water to flow appropriately. And there is a drive right at the feed mill that there are two culverts that go underneath. And basically, we're going to open up that drive, so it'll be an open cut ditch that is going to really help water move more efficiently. So I am here tonight for that. So if there are any comments, any questions about the grant process, I do know we will be submitting this on June 5th, and we should know by August if we were successful. This is our second attempt on this project. We were very, very close the last time. So we are hoping to gain a handful more points on this application to hopefully get those improvements. So if there are any questions or comments, I will.
Got more pictures, right?
Yes, yes. You guys have been fabulous at getting us pictures. We got access to the drive. Got great letters. So yeah, the last couple of rains have really helped us with some pictures. Because that is, if you don't know, that is the main drainage path through the town. So all water essentially comes to that and flows out. So improvements are necessary.
Are we going to open up the outlet to that water?
That is outside of our project bounds. That the county is intending to address that as a separate project. It's just since the town is the applicant, all work for this project has to be done within the jurisdiction of the town. So I do know that Brad is working on it.
We've been working on it for years.
So I do know that it is in the plans. So I do know the town is working on some additional letters from.
Getting those inspections started with all of our hours that we put in.
I love it. So the more level of need that we show on this application, it just paints the picture of the true need that's needed for the state. So we've been collecting pictures and letters and doing the surveys and just trying to reach all these data points that are essential for a successful application. But if there's no other questions for me, do any council members have any questions? other members of, yeah,
You saying the field out there, so I realize both need to be done. We're investing in town right now, how soon how can the field be addressed?
that is a question for the county, and I'm not the surveyor, so I can't specifically answer their timeline on that. And because I know it comes down to a matter of funding, and what money he has available for that. I do know that he is intending that is the next project that he was looking at in continuance of this plan portion. Yeah, if we did everything, it was gonna be, Cameron, do you remember what the total is, like 3 to 5 million, I think, if we did everything. If we wanted to do it all at once, it was just gonna be a very high price project.
For what they were wanting to do.
Yes.
Because I remember, Brad was talking too, that if something didn't go, then we'd back stuff off and do it without.
Any other questions? All right, I do have some things for Betty to sign that do not need approvals. Do you want to do the resolution during this, or you want to do it during your meeting? Okay. Go for it.
If I'm your agenda, the resolution number.
That's what he says.
Resolution 2026-0519-2. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I did.
Cameron made it, Mike seconded.
This is basically stating that the funds that you receive will be used only for this improvement project. You're gonna sign here and date there.
I think we'll use them for something else.
Huh?
I think we'll use them for something else.
Right, right. Perfect. This is a, stating that even though it's within, it is a drainage project in the floodplain, it doesn't meet some of the criteria for a full A-step process.
Okay.
So you're going to sign here, and I will sign.
Anyway, she doesn't have to sign it, so she listen.
Oh,
And then, sign that one. This is stating that
You
we do
don't
not
sign
have
that
to
one.
do
You can't.
radon, any type of radon evaluation or anything like that, since it's an outdoor facility. But we still have to do it. So it's basically saying that you're exempt. So you're going to.
Apply for the.
You know, it's better for them.
no, it doesn't affect us.
And this is the CDBG signature page. It takes place of what used to be like a 30-page legal section. And that is now consolidated to focus on your financing, is it in place, your engineering and permits, your acquisition and things like that. So it's all taken care of. So you're gonna sign here and you're gonna put today's date.
Yeah, thank you.
Harry, do you want me to email these to Jacob, or do you think that he is gonna be?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
everyone.
All right, I'm gonna put both of us in, and maybe he'll get it. Fabulous.
I think it's down with the fire chief.
This will be.
Here it is. Like 2 letters.
Jen, how's it going?
And I stole your pen, Emily. That's it, we're done? All right, I'm gonna close the public hearing for the CDBG project and open to a regular meeting. Approval of minutes, May 6, 2026 council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Harriman made the motion. Janet seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You're next.
Hi, good evening, Jenny Lynn Kybers, Executive Director of White County Building and Planning. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Area Planning Commission to hopefully certify amendment to zoning ordinance A89. Referring to said petition to amend the White County, Indiana zoning control ordinance, please be advised. This petition was properly advertised by the White County Area Planning Commission. This petition was voted upon this petition was heard in a public hearing on April 13th, 2026 by the Area Plan Commission. This petition was voted upon by the Area Plan Commission at that same meeting. The Area Plan Commission voted to recommend Amendment A89 to the legislative bodies by a vote of 10 in favor and 0 against. Amendment A89 is a proposal to amend the current standards for renewable energy systems. Because of the level of changes that were made to Chapter 7 Renewable Energy Systems, this is a proposal for a complete repeal and replacement of Chapter 7. Additionally impacted is going to be Chapter 12 Administration and Chapter 14 Definitions, as well as Appendix A Official Schedule Uses. So as you all possibly recall, last year the commissioners entered into a contract with American Structure Point to not only do the comprehensive plan, but to rewrite Chapter 7 Renewable Energy Systems. They're also doing a complete audit on the zoning and subdivision ordinances, but those complete results aren't back yet. So before you is the amendment work that they did. The biggest change that will affect you all in a hopefully positive manner is we have changed the setback for for renewable energies to the incorporated limits of municipalities to 2 miles. This brings all renewable projects, including wind, solar, and battery storage, into a consistent setback form. I know the town of Wolcott in the past has wanted that setback buffer to be increased from the previous to what it is now. A lot of the changes that were made moved permitting and application requirements from Chapter 7 to Chapter 12 Administration. We also added some verbiage requesting that well testing be a required consideration of the EDA agreement. Battery storage field had some pretty major setback changes. Those have increased to 300 feet to a project area property line. We also included that structures within battery energy storage systems have to have a 25-foot buffer in between. We reduced the height maximum for new commercial and non-commercial wind turbines to be no greater than 140 feet from the ground to the tip of the blade. And one of the other major changes is all renewable projects would have to go through a special exception use through the BZA rather than any of them permitted by right. If you have any answering questions, or go through it line by line.
Do you know what the original height requirement was for the towers?
There was not an original.
Oh, there was not.
No, the height would determine the setback though.
Okay.
So we did still have a required setback from residences to be 1,000 foot for turbines, no matter the height. Also within this verbiage, we are allowing repowering, maintenance, and essentially swapping like for like systems as long as they are not expanding out of the original project.
Right. So the current repower that's going on is at Meadow Lake 4. They are going bigger on those, aren't they?
Yeah, some of them are going bigger. So there's 2 repower phases. The one that has been permitted, they are going taller, and their setbacks obviously fluctuated. And there were, like, I don't want to throw out a number, but there were several variances that they had to get to allow those setbacks to go closer.
But anything new can't be over 140 feet.
Correct.
Okay.
Any current phase can be reworked.
Correct. As long
That's
as,
the way I understood it. I just,
yeah.
when you said it again, I'm like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
Sounded
as
different
long
than I
as
remember
not, as
reading
long
it.
as they're not going outside of the original permitted footprint, then they could retower, yes.
Okay,
Are there any other questions?
I had a couple, and hopefully you got the answer. I was reading through them. What, I noticed it in 715.8 and 716.4. Why does Buffalo and Idaville have a 2 mile?
So they're not incorporated municipalities, however, we still allow the protection for them,
Okay,
but they're, rather than a town board, it would have commissioner approval
Okay.
for the ability to waive.
and then also in the, I read in there, they are supposed to have decommissioning plans for any renewables. Where would the public find those?
Decommissioning plans have to be agreed to with the county commissioners, so they should be, I think, recorded. Also with project applications, we have them on file in the office.
Okay, so I just call in if I wanted to find out about.
Yeah.
There was also something, I have to have bonds and basic protections if they go out of business, is that my
Right,
understanding?
if they are abandoned or
Right.
producing.
Yeah, so them just walking away and putting their hands up, there is a bond in place to.
Yep.
Protect, okay,
Yeah, but those are.
but that would
agreed.
be, I would just call into the county and,
You can either call my office or call the commissioner's executive assistant, she should have record too, because
Okay.
it's commissioner agreements, but yes. Either one works.
Any other questions?
that's all I had, thank you.
Jamal, do you have something?
I was gonna say, Amy and I sat through these meetings, these ordinances, and changed, and it is a good.
Right.
Work, so work very hard to make, put a lot in place.
They have been working very hard on all the ordinance. It's time. Do I have a motion to pass ordinance 2026-0519?
I will make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You're good.
Can you make, since I'm done, can you make it a little bigger, if I can read it?
You can do this, Mike, you can blow it up.
I know.
All the red lines and the.
I know, that was confusing, trying to read through those red lines, we had to read all of it, because there'd be a word in there, or 2 words. Like, okay. But it wasn't just me.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it's just you, sorry. Mike passed it, Nick.
Want to come to you, Carrie?
Thank you, guys.
Bye, sweetie. Jared, do you have anything?
Yes, I'm gonna ask for a vote to replace our well number 2 at Kent Hill. To discuss in depth about well number 2, which is the northern one that, Justin said last time they came to look at it, gonna need replaced. So Tim stopped by and spent a good amount of time with us to go over well 1 and well 2, get the history of them, all that. I've asked for a binder on the history of all, we don't have it, on the history of both wells from replacement survey with documents and the camera feed that they've done down the wellhead, so at least we have it on file and be able to use examples from the past. He's getting that to me. Basically, after talking to him, though, it's clearly evident that number 2 needs to be replaced or go down. The number that you have there on the estimate, that is, as Tim would say, that is the high end. You want to go low and then have a shock value afterwards. It could be less than that. That is most likely the highest it's going to be for that total replacement of that one well. And then we talked, like Cameron had said, about the 2 pipes coming off of both wells going into the one line, changing those out to where they're the same sizes, or so they're not going into
A larger size to
yeah,
handle it better.
which he's aware of. So we had a good talk about that. Some other things we'll talk over. Basically, I'm asking for approval to call him and go ahead and schedule for the replacement of the well and pay for it based on that estimate.
We have a warranty on it? You know?
Not, it's, I mean, and going back on everything, it looks like about every 5 to 6 years is what these are going for, or going out, right? One thing I brought up, I looked at both of them because they brought them side by side, and I noticed that they were both pretty close to replacement of each other, like within the same year, which I said we'd like to move spaces out. Where like once every 3 years, we put one and then another, that way we're not hit with the cost of two. So I think the other one's doing okay, so we're gonna be able to push that a little longer, but then we talked about something like, looking at an exploratory well for a third well, just to have it, which I'm gonna do in a minute, but basically, to start, I'd like to see if we can get that approved, so I can get Tim and Fearless to start to replace that pump.
Is that a normal life expectancy, or we,
Yeah, now it is.
I'm talking every other municipality, or is it just the town of Wolcott having a problem with?
Fearless does a lot of the things in the state, so I trust what he's saying, but I asked
Okay.
about the option of going an above ground well one, which one of our wells was at one point. Very much more expensive on the front end, but servicing and cleaning can be a benefit, but yeah, I mean, I can tell you they don't make things like they used to.
Well, if you went above ground, then you could put a well house over it.
And I discussed that, what do you call it, like Ken, what do you call that? Turbine. Yeah, but he said that's, upfront, that's a lot more than this, but it's a little different because you'd be able to clean and service your wellhead differently than this. It's all in one house. I have, what he did a really good print for years and stuff. I've got multiple ones, but it's a lot of information. I'm gonna make them available to you guys so you can look at them. It actually shows pictures of, like, diagrams of our well log and ground level, our casing, where it goes from sand and gravel clay to down 14 feet on this one to sand and gravel with some clay, down to 20 feet, and then 20 feet down to 42 feet, you're of course sand and gravel, and then you get into dense clay around 42 feet. So it's a 12-inch casing to 27 feet. They use ground focus pump. And then there's a diagram here on this you can look at, but based on what he's telling me and the history that we've been doing it, it looks like it. I mean, you can see the difference in the pumps and how much they're producing. And I'm gonna chalk up to maybe maybe we could have gotten longer, but I think the water main break that we had, and then we ran those pumps for 3 straight days. Both of them were running for 3 straight days to keep that water tower filled, and that really did a number on. I mean, they're towards the end of their life cycle, and you just push them through the ringer to get them through. So they're still running, but it's gonna be replaced. So we either do this now, or we wait until it goes and have an emergency call out. So.
Carrie, do we have the money?
Yeah, we probably won't put all from water, but I have like Riverboat, Great Day, see it, I can get it from those places where they.
Okay. Do I have a motion to go with Peerless Midwest quote for well number 2 pump of $39,803 at the highest point? It could be less.
I'll
We
make
don't have
that.
to bid. Is this the only company in town that does it?
Fine, company.
I mean, probably just have to for us business with them. So not where
It's fine, I'm asking, because there's
it's
some,
it's under 50, I believe.
okay, I knew there was.
They changed that.
Okay, I knew there was a limit, but I wasn't sure.
It used to be 10, they changed it to 50.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what Jacob said, 2 years ago.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the
Janet,
motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So in discussing that with him, I was looking at, you see all this future stuff that may or may not happen. And I know some things probably will happen, some won't, but my thing was, hey, I asked about the capacity for us and what we can or can't take, or can or can't produce. He said we could go up to a third wellhead right now without having to expand our filtration system, which we'd have to do if we went up to like we're comfortable like a lot more out. But if there were like park that went in that needed dedicated water or something, like as an example, air quotes. This would be helpful, and it's not something that I'm saying we're doing right this second, but I talked to Tim about doing an exploratory well. It's like a 2-year process from the time you start to the time you'll probably be able to get finished, he said. And you need a certain amount of acreage, because you need a certain radius around that exploratory where you're just looking. And I'm not saying we're gonna run 3, I'm just saying it would be nice, in my opinion, prepare for something long-term and have that third well available. Now, he offered Ken's services on this too, to do like a workshop to help explain it for the public and the people on that, what it would look like and what it is, which I think is good for people to come in and see. I would just like to explore it. I'm not asking for anything right now because I don't know. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it. So, but it would be nice to have that prepare for it.
As far as capacity, how much more could, I mean, prospectively, how many more residents could we, do we have room to, we're not at our limit of our wells?
Yeah, I'm not talking about anything grandiose like that
No.
out there or anything like that, but I hear other things that I think are more likely.
Yeah,
Like, I mean.
but we have enough capacity if that was the case, or.
So those are things I think about. I'm like, well, if we are gonna produce water and send them those, if we annex, things of that nature, that this way we can have control over the well and the water and not worry about somebody else having to do it. Because if we do it and then we annex and we do it for them, then we understand what's going on and we have control over it. Whereas if we don't, someone wants to put something major in, they're gonna drill and do whatever they want until they find something. That's just from all the stuff I've seen, I'm just like trying to think ahead and go, well, what could we do to get ahead of this? I'm not saying we have to, I'm just saying it's something that Tim and I talked about.
It's good to know how much it's gonna cost in
Yep.
case that
And I
company
think,
to come in.
can't remember ballpark, I thought usually exploratory wells, I'm not correct, 15,000.
15, depends on how many times you have to punch holes to get water.
Yeah, and the idea would be to go somewhere close to where our wells are now, because that's where our line is going into the town. Because I think I think it could be way off $1 million for a mile worth of line to come in by the time you laid everything. If you put a new line, like you found a well somewhere else that was a mile away, running the line and everything. So I was like, well, we could look around. There's a lot more to it because you got landowners and stuff like that. You have to discuss with whether they would allow us to even look and how that would work. Because our wells right now, we have the land, small, little, tiny sliver, but we own it. So, water side, that's basically all we got. Wastewater, we got our main pump back from Flukes, and it's up and running good inside the plant. I've talked to Jeff about going ahead and maybe looking at putting pumps in to introduce alum into our system, which I talked about Ken and them with because of the phosphorus levels, what we have to control or not with IDEM. It seems like we have a lot more in place than we thought we did with that wastewater plant. We don't have to do it much, but we're going to be looking into that in the next week or two. I'll come back with you with a kind of a quote on what pumps we need to introduce and the cost of the alum. I mean, something we're going to have to do. We have that window till, well, we got another 2.5 years maybe before we have to come in compliance, and we're a little over. We're not going to be there if we don't treat it, and we have to do it. Whether anybody else will do with that on like A-Life or something like that, we're working with them, but we still have to come in compliance on our end. So
Sounds like a CDBG project.
yeah, that's street department. That's something we put up the flags and the banners up on light poles. We also have thanks to Mike donation of lights to replace these. There'll be a multi-light strand that goes around poles. It'll be a little bit of time to get those on, but we're working on hopefully sometime this week starting that. I already talked with Vince and Justin about the lift today about it, so we'll start doing those too. Besides that, I got my truck back from Chrysler. It's running good at the moment. So we're back up and running with that. Everything else is peach cane.
They are still making noise?
It started to make the same noise that it started to last time, which I addressed with the dealership when we picked mine up. I said, it's not bad, but we're picking up, we're noticing And again, they said to keep monitoring it and keep up with the service.
Did you ask them about that oil pressure?
I don't think they're ever going to admit the engineering design flaws of their system because it's across the board, but,
Not around enough oil pressure?
Well, I'm,
one side's not.
as a mechanic, my mind keeps like, why does this keep happening? What's so, there's consistency somewhere.
My bearings broke at the bottom of my engine, but they had to rebuild the whole top.
But I know that those trucks do get some idle time. And that's the only thing I can think is maybe a low pressure situation
I will,
at idle.
I will tell you, my hard, like, my actual tire mileage on the road is around just 40,000 with mine, mine's 4 years old. My engine hours to Chrysler's conversion to mileage, I'm close to 90,000 on my truck. So like I said before, this is where we come into about 5 years, every 100,000 is probably where we need to look at. Mine's out of warranty, I think, starting next month.
Okay, I was just curious that something that,
So JR's is still in warranty because he got an engine replacement, so he's good, and his is only 2 years old, so. I'm probably gonna be looking next year and probably have to figure out some financing options or something, or replace mine. And we'll probably trade in the Explorer too at the same time.
Are you sure? And that thing's been,
It's been a
been
godsend
nice to have.
I will say that.
I don't know if we wanna get rid of that.
So, kilo didn't matter too much. But, so we're gonna address that. Besides that.
Did the fire hydrants all get flushed?
Oh, did he address that with you?
He talked to me about the one that is, well, he told me one that I remember that was.
Said one by Vince and one by, did he tell that to you, Kenny?
The fire.
Two hydrants that are not right.
One of them's down in the ground, Kenny, I think it's the pipe that's bad, which I told him to go ahead and look at digging it.
There's a hydrant next to Vince, and there's a hydrant down there by Jim Hughes that I've told him to contact you. He cannot get them turned on, or they leak.
Well, that one. Yeah. Little hydrant there.
Hughes,
Same thing as the girlfriend.
right.
The first one is down where Tony Gross lives, our Cullen's old place. That's an old hydrant. I have it all the time, getting one of the caps off, just put a hydrant mark on it. I figure if we have a fire going up to 4th Street, you hook on up there, or hook on the other.
Well, he said that when he turned the one on, I forget which one it was, there was water boiling up in the bottom.
That's the one by Vince's on Scott. So, I told him to go ahead and look into, we have 2 hydrants in supply ready to go, one where we got the pipe there,
Supposed to go in on Johnson, but I guess down here up north, I doubt they're gonna get put in, so. Might as well use it somewhere else, if it's laying around.
Yeah, like, I'll get with Kenny, if we need something other than going off, we're getting inventory on them. We got 2, but maybe 3 technically total.
Mowed around one at 3rd and Market, because
Yeah.
mowing that yard. I went up to mow the fire station last week, I just went in there and mowed around. Find it in the middle of the night, I know where it's at, but these are as tall as the hydrants, so.
Yeah, I did, abatements and some work stuff today, but those 2 places there on, 3rd and Market, and 3rd and Johnson, I know they're vacant, but trying to track down, or I can send the guys down, or Vince's ass, I can send down and mow it, ordinance violation, I don't know who we're gonna send it to right now at this point, because of the one owner is deceased, the other one's, not able to do anything, so.
I'll just need you, remember, it's 17. By
He couldn't get it.
I'd see what he said.
I don't know, at this point, I mean, I don't wanna even worry about ordinance, I mean, I figured I'd just send this down to do an initial cleanup, or like mowing on these offer, because it's gonna get out of hand before we can ever find out who to talk to about what, so. We'll document that we took care of it, but I can't get an abatement letter to somebody that we're sure the owner is, usually they go to a bank before long, and then we deal with them like we have before, so I'm gonna go ahead and send that stuff and do that. So.
We need to check into replacing the yield sign on 5th in school. It's very faded. coming off Fifth onto School
Oh,
Street.
yeah.
What about your tree meetings? Have you got one lined up?
We can schedule one. But if we can schedule one in the next week or so, that would be great, but we're meeting, and I'll let him know so he can attend and help us with the next step, so. Whatever availability is, Carrie and Janelle, you volunteered, right?
I'll very flex.
Yeah.
Mindy
I
would
don't
be-
know, I
I'll
don't,
get that into next week.
next week,
If you do it today, I can see the repairs I said tomorrow. You can't either, you can't do it in the day. So it have to be in the evening.
let's shoot for next Tuesday evening at 6 here, does that work? The 26th is better, gotcha.
So
I
you're
play.
gonna let me know?
Yes, or, yeah,
And what time?
we'll do it here at the,
Okay. Janelle had something?
does it,
I do have one street question. I noticed that the light is out by the post office. I'm not sure if that was fixed or not.
yeah, we have 3 lights out currently that we've just, again, there's one on the, by the doctor's office, got 2. So, that just popped up, so. Most of those well, some of the big ones report straight to NIPSCO on there.
Those ones are ours, don't they?
But the ones on the street lights are weird, well, I usually get one of them.
Didn't they change those, or we did not convert those all? We didn't convert them all?
Some, yes, not all.
I think we did the highway, but not Market Street.
Mark's just 2 that have outlet, or,
Huh?
I think Mark's got 2. I'll double check, but I don't, the highway we definitely.
Is that it, Jared?
Good.
Carrie?
I have the APB register that was sent to you for approval.
Do I have a motion to approve the APV register May 19th, 2026? Second? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then the financial review for April 2023, that was our approval.
Do I have a motion for the financial review of April 2026? Second? Do I have a second? Okay. Janet? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Where are we at on the alleys?
I
Jared?
contacted a surveyor, about giving me an estimate to run through some and survey it before we put it down. I gave him 3 specific locations.
Okay.
The same ones we talked about before. I don't know, they're super, like, it's hard to get a surveyor because they're so busy, but I'm waiting on them. Some of them we're gonna start on, we know where they're at, like, some of them are already been surveyed luckily by the same group. Back here on, behind the old dairy store and west, they just did those. But I want to continue all the way down to the end of that, which would be, that's up to Young's, Maryland Young's. But when we see grass, I want them staked and surveyed before we peel or
Cut
do
in.
anything. So,
The warning sign is still on hold. Did we hear anything from Jacob on the annexation?
What he said to me today was that he sent an email to the other law firm and he has not heard back from them on like an estimate. His short answer for some of the other questions was that yes, landowners have the right to object to this. In theory, they could stop it, but that's unlikely, in his opinion. Only the area that was annexed could the town stop for, say, a data center. It would not extend any further than what we annexed.
Yeah, but it creates a buffer. It shows a buffer out.
So we would have that ability up to wherever we annexed.
Right.
If that was our goal. So it's
Pricing though, I still don't have it.
Okay.
answered. I did find out from Treba that their town's attorney, I think his name is Barbs, she gave me his phone number. He does their annexes for them. So it might be a better cost effective. So I can try to get a price from him as well if you want me to.
I was gonna say, yeah, reach out to him.
Never hurts to have options.
Yeah, and he's more local. I think
He is.
they're Otterburn. I don't know if he's from Otterburn, but he's from that area, so.
He's
Yeah, I
Fowler.
think she said, so he's more
Yeah.
local, so we may get more response from him than somebody from Indianapolis.
He used to be the judge out there.
So, okay,
Maybe cheaper.
yeah,
Are you trying to annex the whole 2 miles around from 24 railroad tracks?
Trying to see what we can at a time. So if we can't do it all, then stop. And once that phase is done, continue.
Perfect.
So,
Plus-
We'll be behind it.
and it's just trying to get that pushed out as much as possible. So if nothing else is gonna work, I think that's our only option anymore.
Let's look at the mail. We need a paragraph. Okay. That's ready to go. Ken, what do you have for us for the community care grant?
We care, Mr. Dunn, thank you, Carrie, and here for helping get that in there. Good, no, saying, sorry.
I got a response back from Shane.
So it's in, by the 3rd week of June, so you should know. I was doing a job with a good, pull out all stops, so hopefully we'll get it.
How much did we ask for?
19,000 for the Lucas device is 65, so 84.
Okay.
And then, your water utility has, your state has various agencies that regulate water, IURC, the IDEM, state local funds, or Indiana Finance Authority. We have, 4 reports due this year. The water asset plan is due July 1, the water foundation is due, first, the sewer conference reports due, in June. So, the past, Bob's just told us to get those done. However, if you want us to train somebody to do it, to have them be responsible, we have to train somebody or we can just do it for you, it's the same price, previous whatever you guys wanted to do.
I'm thinking just stay with you, then we.
You, just
then we
let
don't
you
have-
do it.
That one, we don't have to worry about it.
We'll get them done.
Thank you. Kenny, how did our bill turn out?
Checked yesterday. We want to thank the board for their support in getting this whole problem solved. I truthfully don't believe we'd ever got it if you guys hadn't stood up for us. My opinion only, but that's the way I feel. Anyway, the check's there. I think Chris put it in the bank today. And, so our end of it.
Okay,
Thank you.
so for ordinance 2026-0506 vacating the alley, it is the alley between, that comes off of Anderson Street to the middle alley that Brian Furr has asked for us to vacate.
We'll make that motion.
Any questions? Mike made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, new business. Library, July 6th, closed section of the alley behind the library from 4 until 8.
so she came in and wanted to know if they're gonna have a party for the summer reading that day, evening. She just wanted, like, you guys' approval or for you to know that they were wanting to close it. The south end of the alley will still be open so that people that live down the alley can still access it.
From their
Just
parking
from
lot.
like their parking
No.
north. So,
Do you need a motion on it? Do I have a motion to close the alley from 4 to 8, part of it, behind the library, July 6th? I'll make the motion. Jana made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Does anybody have anything else?
To participate in the comprehensive plan survey. It's really important for the future of White County that everybody pay attention. It's in process right now. It's posted on the county website, and everybody needs to have a say.
Just go to the website, fill it out.
On the county website.
On the county website, you click on it, it takes you to their site, and I've read it twice now, and it's.
Well, for example, they did a survey, for construction one, did a survey which the ordinance of getting that had back in October of 25, and they felt if they got 200 people to respond to it.
No, the original survey was 200 and some people, and I said that was an excellent outcome of surveys.
This survey, they got 600 people respond to it.
They
And
used,
76% of people that responded to it either did not want a data center or want a pause on a data center. And American Construction Commission, they're driving this and any of that in the comprehensive. So it's very important.
I didn't hear, where's that?
it's on the county website. If you just go to the county website, it's right on it, the comprehensive plan is listed, and then you have a discussion group. You can comment right within the discussion. You can email Jenny Lynn, I have American Construction Point's email, you can email them directly, but I think that discussion board is a good place for everybody to start, so you can see what everybody's saying.
Thank you.
And I do believe too that it's been popping up on Facebook to go to it.
I haven't seen it on Facebook lately.
Been great.
That'd be, well, I put it out there, and Becky Chitty has put it out there several times.
Right, it scrolls from the algorithm, for its content,
That might be, but yeah, I know we've been asking for people to participate.
The only other thing I have is I had talked to Don again on recycling. We thought that the highway department, county highway department was going to take care of it. Mr. Mike Smolik has taken it out of the highway department's hand, and it will be bidded out. I talked to Mike on Monday morning, and he told me that it's gonna probably take a month before the bids, they decide on the bids of who's going to do it.
Soft lighting.
I think that's the lighting.
No, the lighting's up.
Oh.
Now they gotta take care of the wellheads and the rebar that's down there and blah, 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 put more gravel in.
Well, they just need to gravel up to the
Yeah.
top of them. I mean, they just need the cap. The caps are missing because I pulled them a long time ago when I mowed it. And stuck those pipes in there. So they just need meter or valve box lids put on. And they can gravel up to them.
Yeah, that is what I was told from Mike Smolik
Because they can't be removed because the valves are still active.
on Monday. Is there anything else?
Do you guys have anything? I've never seen you guys before.
High school.
Let's see, get your sheets. No.
I have some.
Meetings adjourned.